software here. I'm gonna talk a little bit about club head speed. We have one of the longest in the game right here. And then me, I would say I'm probably a little bit above average. It's an incredible asset to be able to hit it far. And I'm sure Cam will tell you, the farther you hit it, the farther offline you're also capable of hitting it, right? So he's always probably actually trying to dial it back a little bit from his max go just to keep the ball in play the most. Whereas for me, I'm trying to balance accuracy and distance the best I can. I always feel like I'm capable of hitting it farther when I feel confident that I'm gonna hit it straight.
Yeah.
And when I feel like I'm getting a little loose, I tend to even subconsciously just dial back on the speed. So for me, contact, consistency, and then also a consistent shape
Yep, that's the most important.
is incredibly important. If you have a ball that can curve left or curve right, it's really hard to aim, and it's really hard to commit to swinging, you know, at a high speed. So I know Cam likes to hit a fade off the tee. In my experience, seemingly most of the guys with significant speed tend to go that way because it probably gives them a better chance for accuracy on the longer term. Whereas for me, I do like to fade it off the tee, but sometimes if the conditions are where I need to hit a little bit farther, I'll tend to try and straighten it out or hit a draw because that just tends for me to go a bit farther. But like I said, when I feel like I'm swinging well and gonna hit it straight, I feel comfortable stepping on the gas from a speed perspective. I don't do a ton of work directly related to speed. It's more of a situational thing for me, where if it's a little bit wider, I know that I have a couple miles an hour of club head speed in the tank if I need it. With that being said, a pretty standard drive for me is probably gonna fly, you know, in the ballpark of 300 yards, which is adequate for most of the courses that we play.
Oh, yeah. There's pros and cons to distance. Me being a long guy, over the years I've had to just figure out a way to get it in the fairway. When I was a kid, I used to draw it and I struggled a lot. You know, when it's on, but when it's not, I would just, and I would miss both ways. So over the years, I've kind of gotten to where I would flight it a little bit lower than what you call tour average. And also I just try to take the left side out. I feel like whenever I'm hitting it good, I can just aim up the left side, knowing I'm not gonna hit it left. The only time I'm gonna hit it left is if I get extremely quick and double cross it. And for me, it's not really, it's just kind of like a straight pulled shot. But just finding something that you're comfortable with, that, you know, even if you're standing up there and you're not comfortable, but knowing kind of what your shot is and what your miss is, and knowing you can just kind of just try to stick with that and trust it is, I think, is crucial with, you know, hitting fairways. For me, whenever I'm hitting it with the driver, I just go. If it's working that day, just, you know, no matter what part of your game is, just, I think, just try to take advantage of it. So yeah, you know, it's key with having a shot you're comfortable with, and then just trusting in that. All right, so.
Actually, can you step a little bit this way?
For me, my stock driver, I generally tee it pretty low. I would say compared to most guys, you know, the ball will be pretty much either majority of it sticking above the top of the crown of the driver. But for me, I've generally always kind of teed it lower just because if anything, I hit more down on it than the average player. Again, that just has to do with just over time, I've just tried to find a way to create more spin than take it off. Like I said, when I was a kid, I could hit it really high, but I had no spin. I probably hit it further when I was 17 than I even do now, but I could not control it. Again, this is just something that I think I've just done over time naturally, and it's just the same process over. So again, from here, I always tend to kind of aim a little bit on the left side of the fairway, always. You know, my miss, if anything, is kind of like a little push straight shot. So again, with this game, it's always a game of misses. So with the driver, for me, I just try to just keep it within this little ballpark and just to give myself the best chance.
And so on the numbers for this kind of stock drive for you, you're obviously trying to aim it up the left and hit a little fade.
Yeah.
Down at the bottom there, are you looking at club path just trying to beat to the left and face trying to beat to the right of that effectively?
Yes, and especially with, you know, making sure that I try to keep the angle and not, you know, kind of come up. For me, when I try to hit it high or get it up in there from the wrong direction, I'll kind of come up out of it. So for me, it's just feeling like I can just keep turning left and kind of cover with my right shoulder. So, you know, this one, the mid-flight one, generally the ball speed will go up just because I'm hitting down on it more. And the flight should launch anywhere from probably I would say around 6 to 7 degrees, which is again generally pretty low for the average.
I mean, just absolute 9.8 out of 10 probably there.
I would take that all day, every day for me. That's from carry to launch. Like I said, for me, that's kind of on tour, that's going to be low. But for me, for just a nice stock shot, just being in control, launching at about a 7 to an 8.5 is kind of right my ballpark. You know, ball speed, low mid 180s, club head speed, about 127. And then for me, the big number is this one. Just the spin rate. You know, that one I caught perfect. For me, a really good spin rate is, you know, 2,700 to, you know, my kind of cut shots around like 32, 33. But for me, that just it gives me the best chance to keep it in the fairway for me, just having slightly higher spin rates.
So when you're hitting that kind of fairway finding shot, you're just trying to eliminate missing it left, right? Would you rather have your miss be kind of a wipey right ones, landing soft in the right rough and fine? You just don't want the hot left one.
Yep.
So that's where for Cam, he's trying to hit a little fade. He's trying to aim it up the left side and just make sure that thing doesn't hook. He's got tons of speed where distance is never an issue. That was, you know, pretty smooth swing and still flew 307. And then I think he'll show us a shot here where if it's pretty wide or it's a long par 5 and he wants to get a little extra speed, I imagine probably tee it a bit higher, maybe straighten it out a little, and you'll see the launch probably come up a little bit and the carry certainly be a bit longer.
Yeah, so here it's, for me, just when I hit a little higher, just the feeling of, for me, it's just not feeling like I essentially keep the angle as long as I do and kind of hit down on it. That's really the main feeling. Kind of driving it is kind of my normal shot kind of feel, just so I can keep the face square as long as I can. I can keep the angle and keep the flight down. So from here, really I just move it up a smidge and I just try to feel just not as much, you know, kind of covering the ball.
So what's the shape intention? Still a fade, or are you going to straighten it out a bit?
This one for me, it's pretty straight. Like, and generally it might just kind of fall to the right a little bit, but it's pretty straight. But still, I like to have that feeling, just kind of aiming up the left, and it sets my body up. For me, you know, when I get aimed right, I'm screwed.
Yep.
Because then I just,
it feels like you're trying to force it back online.
Correct. Yeah. And then you just kind of come over and you hit that swipey left one. So if anything, I try to, as much as I don't do it as often as I should, I try to feel a little more open to it. And then I feel like I give myself enough time in the backswing, and then from there I feel like I can just go. Oh, it's still kind of low. It's actually a little draw.
You can see the launch angle went up to about 1 degree there. The ball speed was up 3 miles an hour. Club speed was up 1 mile an hour. Like, that ball probably after the roll in real life is going another 15, 20 yards over the original.
Yeah.
And that's where he's got a huge advantage on tour is to be able to have that extra gear when he needs it. Not a lot of players have that. Like, for me, when I'm playing on tour, I would say almost every drive that I hit, I'm swinging close to as hard as I can, just trying to combine distance and accuracy. And seemingly with Cam, it's more 90% of the time focusing on the accuracy, because the distance is something that really comes natural for him.
Yeah. Let me get a bigger tee.
There you go. Oh, thanks. Listen, everybody wants to hit it far, and it is very important. But I would say, I really am a believer that the thing that gives you the freedom to swing harder is knowing that the ball's going to be in play, and so getting good fundamentals with your swing to where you feel like you have enough accuracy to be able to kind of let loose, I think is what allows someone to have the freedom to swing faster. There's certainly, you know, training and practice that goes into being able to swing faster, but I think there's a mental component in all of our minds built in to know that until we're really feeling comfortable that we can hit the ball in play, it's almost like we won't allow ourselves to go there and swing as hard as we can.
Yeah.
And I think that's it's kind of the chicken and egg, right? It's, you know, Cam kind of comes from, he's always been fast, and so he's dialing back, trying to get more accurate. Other players would be the opposite, where they've always been accurate, so they're on the range swinging, trying to hit it far. It's just, it's kind of a chicken and egg, double-edged sword, if you want to call it that. I would say for me, I'm probably ballpark in the middle of the two. I've always been average or a little bit above average length. So I'm always just trying to balance how hard can I swing on the golf course and still keep the ball in play. Every amateur always talks about wanting to hit it farther, but every amateur I ever play with hits it crooked.
Yeah.
So I guess it depends if you ask me or them. If you ask me, I'd tell you need to hit the ball straight.
Amateur golf, I think distance is almost irrelevant.
Yeah,
like,
put the ball in play. And it's a lot of the times, frankly, it's not even put the ball in the fairway. It's don't hit it in the hazard, don't hit it out of bounds, don't hit in the fairway bunker. If you can put the ball in the fairway and your bad ones are just relatively close to the fairway, as an amateur golfer, that's a huge win. Where they get in trouble, in my opinion, is hitting big, disastrous shots.
Yep.
But yet they're trying to hit the ball 5 yards farther. I'm like, trust me, the 5 yards is not your problem.
Yep.
Exactly. I don't know, that's my opinion.
No, I agree. I agree.
We play pro-ams every week, and the amount of times that I look at a guy and I'm like, man, you hit the ball great, but you don't hit it far enough is very slim. But the amount of times that I watch a guy hit the ball out of bounds all the time, and I'm like, well, it'd be nice to hit it in the fairway. It's that's my opinion.
Yep. No, I completely agree with that. Yeah, because it takes, like I said, I was telling about a family friend who went from like a 14 to he's like an 8 to a 6. But same deal. Like even that handicap, it'll be 1 to 3 holes around where again, trying to hit it hard or trying to do something that there's no reason for. You only the gain is not worth it. So you go from, again, just hitting your normal drive, maybe making a par bogey at worst, to making a double, triple, quad 2 or 3 times around, versus if you just hit your normal shot, you make par bogey at worst, and there's your, you know, 4 to 8 shots around that can really hinder amateurs. So
the problem is the accurate drive is not sexy. Yeah. Unless you're swinging at 128 miles an hour, then it's still pretty sexy. But for your 8 handicap player, then bunting it down the fairway 240 yards, in my opinion, is a win. But they want to have the ability to hit it 270.
You can hit it as far as you want to, but if you can't get somewhat relatively in the fairway, it's pointless. It's worthless, to be honest.
With that being said, he's going to open one up here and hit it far.
Yeah.
All right, let's see your hole 11 at New Orleans, wide open par 5. There we go.
Oh, one-hander.
Great miss, though.
Nicked it. Oh. That's too high from me. All right.
There it is.
A little bit lower, but that was 10.
Yeah, that was nice. So there you go. There's 320 carry, 340 total.
Yeah.
I've seen that one in person a few times, and they built a Kmart between my ball and his.
So, and it's funny with me is when I go at it, I tend to want to draw it more. You know, when I'm swinging good, it's pretty darn straight. But if anything, just because of the speed, you know, for me, when I get to the top and I want to add speed, you know, all my speed comes from my body. Like I'm not a very fasty, armsy type swinger. I get all my speed just from my lower body. So it's all timing. So, you know, for me, when I'm again hitting that hard one, I have to really time it well just to give myself time back here. Because if I get
outraced, right?
If I get outraced and my lower body gets going, I'll tend to, you know, when I'm hitting it hard, if anything, I'll tend to want to kind of overcook it. So there, to me, that one felt good. I felt like I gave myself enough time. And once I'm there, I can just go. And like I said, for me, the hard one, my path kind of gets a little more from the inside and kind of a draw feel, just because I have to really let my hips go. So that's what I would typically see, just a little baby draw for me whenever I'm kind of hitting that hard one.
Sweet. You know, when I look at the system in the game mode, I think it's a fun thing, an enjoyable thing. I think when you get in this setting, I think for an amateur golfer, you're building awareness and you're getting feedback, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of those two things. You have to be aware of what you're trying to do, and you need to be aware of what the intention is, and with the video and with the data of what's actually happening. And then you need an awareness of why that's happening and what that feels like to you, because that's all unique. If Cam and I are trying to accomplish the same thing, he might have to have a feel with his hands and arms, and I have to feel it with my hips, whatever it might be. So to be able to have the data and align that with what your intention and your feeling is, I think it just gives you more accurate direction that you can take to a golf course in real life. The technology is so accurate and the graphics are so realistic that I just view that as like, we can get together and have fun and do that. And you get some feedback in that setting as well, of course, but when I look at the practice setting, that's where an amateur player really has kind of this gap where they can improve quickly just by building awareness with the technology. That's just kind of my 2 cents on the kind of the two aspects, two different verticals within the system. If you're going to invest in a system like this, you're a serious enough golfer to where you're likely either really trying to have fun, but to me, you're really trying to improve. I can tell you this for sure, with us doing what we do, we could be in the most beautiful place in the world at a pebble beach, and if you're playing poorly, I'm not having fun at all. So good golf for me is fun golf. Improvement is fun. I definitely think this gives you, frankly, every technological tool that you would need to enhance your game. All right, now let's watch my powder puff drive. Little half hour off, straight into the driver. All right, my driving's pretty simple. I try and keep it as one-dimensional as I can. I like to try and, what feels like a fade for me is a fairly straight ball, but I'm similar to Cam. I like to aim up the left side of the fairway. I like to not miss it to the left. I notice for good players, the kind of weak right shot, I would call it, is generally less disastrous, less big misses. So that's the way that I would like to miss it. With that being said, I think there also is an awareness that you gain in the warm-up, seeing what your ball's doing that day, and then strategically aligning yourself on the golf course in order to accommodate that. So first one, I'll just try and hit kind of my stock drive. I'm gonna feel like a fade, but more than likely it's gonna be relatively straight. It might even be a slight draw, but that's my fade intention. So I'd like to aim it up the left side like in the first cut, and then just feel like it doesn't turn over to the left with this club. So I would say, like, more than likely in a tournament, that ball's gonna end up, it's a pretty straight shot right up the left side. May or may not be in the fairway, but certainly not gonna be a disastrous result. And then I would say, for me, the way that I'll play is in the first few holes, I'll usually go to that shot, and then I'll make an adjustment off of that, where if I feel really comfortable with where I'm at from a ball flight perspective and making good contact, I'll feel like later in the round I can start to ease into it and to start to ramp the speed up a little bit. So this next one, I'll try and give a little bit more speed. My tee height is generally pretty high, so I'm not gonna change it too much. I'm just fundamentally just gonna try and swing with the same intention, but just a little bit faster. So that one was a little off the toe, that's why you're seeing the draw.
Take that miss all day.
Yeah, for sure.
Those are again, for us, I feel like the misses are almost more important than the quality shots, just because
100%.
For us, I mean, maybe once around we might hit one, we go like, oh, that was good.
Yeah.
Like, where it's like, okay, that one was either flush completely or whatever it may be, it's maybe less than a handful of times in a whole entire round. So, yeah.
I mean, in the simplest form, the way I view driving the ball is, in reality, you're trying to set up the easiest par 3 you can from there.
Yeah.
Right? And so what does that start with? Just getting it in play. In a perfect world, I'd rather be in play and have to hit an extra par 3 or extra club on a par 3 than I would hit one less club from thick rough or bunker or anything like that. So that's kind of the way I think about strategically off the tee, is like, all right, how can I just make this hole the easiest hole I can from the next shot without bringing in a disastrous result? That's more or less what I'm going for. So one more, try and hit this one a little bit harder again. A little off the heel. I would take that drive on the course every single time. So it wasn't my best. Flying 285, going 300 yards, but it's in the right center of the fairway.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's a win.